Hello everybody, back again. Gonna do another video here, probably 15 to 20 minutes long, at least. Well, I should say at most. Going on a trip here, and let's just see what this leads to here. So I've done multiple videos. One of them, it doesn't look like saved from yesterday. I don't know if I'm going to be able to retrieve that or whatnot. But anywho, there should be some new content, and I think I got one of them uploaded from the other day on the esoteric stuff. So, let's just go into a deep dive through basically why everything in the last couple years has been happening, how everything is really connected, and what the idea is behind it, and what people are supposed to believe and think and that kind of thing. So in general, one of the big things since we'll just say the emergency, the so-called emergency, obviously, since they announced new restrictions and different things like that for people, that I always said was what they're really trying to do is they're getting the virtual stuff in, and they're getting rid of cash. That's one of the biggest things. And then right as soon as that happened, they really started supposedly caring about cleanliness and whatnot, which nobody does. The people that act like they do type things, the governments and the corporations and all this type of stuff, that they don't even understand what they're even doing, a lot of them. Whether it's your local business and stuff like that, or what I'm mainly referring to is the big ones, like the World Economic Forum, the Organization of Health, world. Gotta invert everything so all the words can get through the algorithm and they don't get shut down. And so on and so forth. People that have told you all kinds of different things about what they would do and what was going to happen and that kind of thing. They all have talked about the digital currency, the need to get rid of cash and whatnot. And the point of that, not only because it's electronic and whatnot, and then once the power and all that would be turned off, it'll be so easy to control everyone, because then they have no currency. You've already got other countries taking down banks and freezing bank accounts and whatnot. And I know some of them are involving with Canada and Russia and that kind of stuff, which people buy into it being just a political thing because of so-called events that have been going on, which also are all controlled and whatnot. I'm not saying they're not real, I'm saying they're controlled, meaning that they're planned out, they have their actors ready to play these roles, and that's what they do, because they need to get what they need to get done. That's the point of saying that it's controlled. So between the Canadian stuff and the other countries that are being invaded and that kind of stuff, also, in my belief, is they're using that as a huge distraction as well to take people's minds off of the injection type things, about how they're passing bills and laws about injecting children and different side effects and whatnot that people are having, and the parents of these children, they come back with STDs and stuff like that, and their children are born with different colored eyes and whatnot, and all kinds of awful things. So, I've talked about the injection subject many times, so go through some of my videos, because I'm going to try to stay focused on some other things today. But yes, it all connects. That's the reason why I even brought all that up. So the point is that everybody got used to using the digital stuff. the digital money and whatnot, the bank cards and the credit cards and all that type of stuff. The reason for that not only is because of it's electronic, and then once cash is obsolete, and whatever they end up doing, banning it or saying it's worthless now, or I don't know, whatever they come up and say, what happens after that is eventually people will want it inside of their bodies, which there's people who already have microchipping and that kind of stuff in their bodies knowingly that they've wanted. So the microchipping and stuff, they've came out many times and said about how it would have your health records, it would have your wallet, your money, your digital money or whatever, your bank accounts, that kind of thing. Which that's another thing about bank accounts and all that, is there's so many restrictions. You have to sign up and give out so much information away. You don't need it, straight up. Like, all you need is to keep your money on you. Nobody should be watching your money for you, or whatever we're led to believe. So that's just another concept. It's just so much stuff. It's hard to simplify necessarily and get everything out that I'm saying, and trying to not go extremely fast and people miss what I'm trying to say that's important. So a lot to do with the banks and whatnot. If they shut down electricity and whatnot, you can imagine what would happen with the people and whatnot, because they're so used to their technology and they're reliant on it. They've got their food supplies, all that kind of stuff. It's all electronic. Their cars, say like a whole power grid or whatever, goes out for any number of time, even if it's for a little bit as a test or whatever. You lose access to your bank account. You lose access to any of your like your paychecks, that kind of thing. You would lose access to like if you get checks in the mail or something like that. I'm sure it would affect the mailing system. It would affect a lot of different things. So that's why one of my first things that I was talking about months ago was to stock up on non-electronic things that you need to survive, such as batteries, such as heat, such as cooling, whatever you can do to keep needs going in a non-electric sense. So that is pretty much what I was trying to say there. Get a lot of waters, canned food, can openers, that kind of stuff, that you'll be good to go for a little bit of time. Get as much as you can as well, because like I've said, I talked about the amount of money and that kind of thing. The value of money would be going down and whatnot as well, so prices would go up. And then you've got the whole thing where they're trying to kick people out of jobs. You've got people, so on and so forth. It's just a lot going on, and it's all done on purpose. So the point is just to destroy everything and to get people microchipped. And then once you have the microchip, or different technology such as the microchip, such as the black substance that it's called a graph oxide, which it's a substance that's stronger than steel, and it's flammable, and it moves inside of the body with electronic waves and whatnot. So the waves from the towers and that kind of thing cause it to move inside of the human body and whatnot. And if you didn't know, microchipping has been a thing with pets. Like if you traveled with pets or something on a plane or whatever, you had to get a microchip. I've heard of that situation before. And they've talked about microchipping the militaries and different things like that. And once you put something like a microchip and enough graphene and stuff, you're not going to be basically human anymore. After you're not human, your DNA changes and whatnot. You don't have any sense of your brain is, it's not your brain anymore. It's basically just, you're like the walking lifeless or something like that. There's nothing there anymore. Once you get enough graphene in you, once you get enough technology and that kind of thing. And they're going to make it sound so good to everybody, the microchipping and whatnot, about the digital wallet and your health records. You won't have to carry around papers and whatnot. But yet people have to carry around papers in big cities and, these agenda cities like New York and whatnot, that they have to carry papers around and whatnot, if you catch my drift, for to go inside or whatever, which that's a whole other subject. I'd never be caught with any of them, even if I was for any of that crap, which I'm not, never will be. About how you have to do something to go into buildings. You know what? That's their own fault. If your business dies because you went along with the plan and whatnot, I can't help you. If you want to push that stuff on people and people stop coming to your place, that's your own fault. People don't need to be going into places, covering their faces, sticking things in their body, any of it. So that's my take on that. But you see what I'm saying? It's just hypocrisy. It's really just hypocritical. So once you get that kind of stuff in your body, it's going to screw with you, and you're not going to be human anymore. And imagine the things that if it has the capability to do all that kind of stuff, it has your records and different things like that, and you can pay with it and that kind of thing. Then also, imagine how it could be hacked and controlled and different things like that. You'd be like a computer from then on. And there's a lot of predictive programming into all of that type of stuff. You look into many movies and TV shows and whatnot talking about it. News stories that come out. Of course, always pushing for it, most of the time. So that's, another thing. Once things are told to you as good, you should realize that they're probably bad. Dear. And so then, another thing that connects is with the finances and whatnot. The point that they're trying to get is they're trying to blow everything through the roof. Everything's going to go through the roof, and people just won't be able to keep up because they don't have things prepared. They don't make changes in their life to work more or to find more jobs or anything like that. So it's smart to get ahead of that kind of thing. And I know we live in a bullcrap system of rigged nonsense and whatnot, but that's how it was, and that's how it is. So you got to play with the system until the system breaks completely, which is already broken. But I'm saying breaking in the sense of eventually we won't have jobs, we won't have electricity, we won't have property. That's the plan. The plan is for all that. The plan is for us all to be dead by 2030 or so. But what we can do is not go along with this stuff and cause their plan to at least be postponed. And of course they're going to really push all this stuff on the children and whatnot. So it's going to be up to the adults and the parents and the teachers and all those type of people, the ones who have an influence on the children, their young minds and whatnot, to teach them about, don't inject yourself, don't, put graph in you, don't go along with all the nonsense, don't believe in all this stuff, don't pick sides of politics and all that. It's garbage. It's not worth your time. It's a scripted reality. Don't buy into technology and all this stuff. Don't worship the people on earth and that kind of thing. There's just so much that you could teach a child and whatnot, and they will be better off for it. And that's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, the point is, eventually they're going to try a lot of different things. They're going to try people are going to all end up trying to make the same amount of money. So the people who make less money want more money, and will want the people who make more money to make less money. And that's the way it's set up is about as fair as it's going to get. I'm not saying it's fair, but it could be a lot worse. In the sense of, if I work so many hours and I have this job, and someone else works a certain number of hours and has a different job, we are very likely to be, I don't know what the word is, given financial, paid. We'll get paid differently. And that's all for good reason, really, because what I do, for example, might not be as big as somebody else, have the experience and have the capability of things. And I might not bring as much money into the company or whatever. However, we're supposed to believe it's all working and whatnot. But that's fair. And there's people that want to take all that kind of stuff, because there's people out there that don't want to do anything but sit around. And, most of these type of people that I see are mentally not all there. Mentally beyond ridiculousness. That they want to take everyone's rights away. They want to go along with everything they hear on the TV, etc., etc. They don't want to work. The type of people that you work with, all they do is complain. They don't learn how to do anything. They won't put any effort into things. It's like, I don't know. I just have a different mindset, clearly. And that's the wrong way to look at things, because regardless of your opinions and whatnot, everybody's going to be in the same situation. Everyone's going to be tempted to turn on each other. They're going to all be struggling to eat. They're going to struggle to survive and whatnot. Everyone's rights are in danger. The plan affects everybody. It's not just, a select few people and this and that. And you can look into the social credit score, like the Chinese have done, with you can't do things unless you have a high social credit score. And your social credit score comes from basically being what they call a good little person. You don't talk bad about anything. You're not a real person, basically. You follow all your rules. You don't talk about anything that's real, in reality, that kind of thing. If you go against anything, your score goes down. And when your score goes down, you can't buy and sell, which that goes again with the microchip and whatnot. Because eventually, once you get the microchip and whatnot, or the people who refuse the microchip and so on and so forth, will eventually not be able to buy and sell. That's been prophesized from the Bible, the Revelation 13:16, I believe. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff. It's not new, and that's the plan. And all you can do is prepare and not go along with crap, and that's pretty much it. So I'm at my destination now, so this video is going to be done. I hope you guys learned some stuff and enjoyed the video. Alright, have a good day, guys.